What else we got? So I should eat most of my carbs after my workout. Sounds like that makes the most sense if gains are the goal. Yes, Amber, but be very careful, because what did I just say? Saying post-workout, not good enough. Saying post-glycogen depletion, now we're talking. This is where details matter. This is where I get real nerdy and I get real pissed off at trainers because they don't know what they're talking about, right? I see people that'll go in for like an active recovery day at a CrossFit gym and they like ran a mile, like run 6 times around the building, run a mile, then we're gonna work mobility, and then we're gonna do this foam rolling, and then you drink the same post-workout shake with 30 grams of sugar in it that you drink on the day that you deadlift. What? Right? So you have to be very careful here. This is where details matter. It's not just post-workout. You need to think long and hard about the workouts that you're doing, right? And I also want you guys to remember that strength training doesn't burn a lot of calories, right? It's not the same. You might think you go out and run 10 miles, think you have a better workout. No, you didn't. There was no benefit to that. If you're in that weird kind of glycogen depleted state, running like a huffing and puffing the whole way, there was no benefit to that. There was no physiological benefit to that. Nothing got better. You're doing your training wrong, right? So you gotta be very careful about it. Generally speaking, if I could get all people to only eat carbs post-workout, that would be great. But again, post-glycogen depleting workout, there's not a lot that actually depletes glycogen. Like you're talking about sprints, like all-out sprints. Or you're talking about something like a 5x5 can do it if you have really short rest breaks in between, in between your sets. But if you have a day where you're just hitting like a bunch of 1-rep maxes, you didn't really deplete your muscle glycogen. Now, a great muscle glycogen depletion tool, John, is kettlebells. A fantastic muscle glycogen depletion tool. I told you guys I was gonna do this, and I did this. I murdered my body with a 70-pound kettlebell before Thanksgiving. I fasted about 21 hours and then destroyed myself. I think I did 150 two-handed swings with a 70-pound bell. I did 5 Turkish get-ups on each side. I did single-arm snatches. I did goblet squats. I destroyed myself with this 70-pound kettlebell. If you've never worked with a kettlebell, go pick up a 70-pounder and tell me how you feel, right? So I blasted out my muscle glycogen just completely, right? Now you can do that, but again, very short rest periods and everything, because if you give those muscles time to recover, you're not gonna get into those faster twitch muscle fibers. You need to get to the point where you're burning out your muscle fibers, dumping as much glycogen as you can, right? Yes. What are the best food or carbs to eat after the glycogen depletion? Okay, so this is a tricky one because there's no blanket statements, right? So if you come to me and you have any kind of autoimmune issue or any kind of leaky gut situation, grains are off the table. They're just off the table. In which case, I'm afraid to do that. All right, you're Clovis people, so details matter. Don't go do this. But I'm gonna tell you, if I was working with, like when I put on 12 pounds of muscle, my post-workout was white rice. A tremendous amount of white rice and coconut aminos, just in a skillet, right? I steamed the white rice, threw it in a skillet with coconut aminos. Very ripe bananas can work. Sweet potatoes are a great option. There's a lot of stuff that's a good option that I wouldn't normally recommend for people. So again, it's scary for me to sit here and tell you this stuff because the vast majority are not in a position where this is even on their radar. Someone like an Amber or someone who's shredded and fit and all those kinds of things, that's a different story, right? But if I had it my way, it would actually be all leafy green vegetables and things like sweet potatoes, even white potatoes would be a good option. My post-workout is a great option. 11 net carbs from complex carbohydrates and 5 grams of coconut palm sugar. So in a way, the simpler the better. The simpler the carbs, the better, but not at the expense of gut health. So I don't want you guys to end up like burning a hole in your gut because you decide to eat a bunch of brown rice after work. Now, brown rice even wouldn't be a good option because it doesn't uptake as quickly as white rice does, because you have to get through the husk and everything. But yeah, I would stick to complex carbohydrates, So, you can't really go wrong with sweet potatoes. Post-workout, the Keto Gains guys, like Luis from Keto Gains, these guys are big on this stuff. Like if they have a real intense workout, they stick to sweet potatoes. That's my go-to now. If I ever do this kind of thing, sweet potatoes is my go-to, okay?